Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Beyond the Bell. I'm your host, Quincy Pierce. I'm an elementary ED teacher in Mandan, North Dakota. I'm in my fourth year as a teacher, my 12th year working in an ED classroom. I spent 8 years as a paraeducator across the river in Bismarck before starting my teaching career a little later than normal. I started teaching at the age of 33. I worked in retail for a few years, bounced around job to job. Finally grew up, got a big boy job as a teacher at the age of 33 years old. Now I'm in year 4 of having my own ED classroom. I'm super excited to have this podcast, to start this podcast. I'm a little nervous. I'm not always going to say the right thing. I'm not always going to be speaking smoothly. I stutter. I trip on my words. I do everything my students do. All right. This show is about real life teachers, not the perfect bulletin board, anchor chart, perfect lesson plans followed to a T that you see on Instagram and TikTok every day. No, this is about the day-to-day chaos, laughter, meltdowns, and most importantly, the moments that remind us why we do what we do as educators. Every week, we'll take an honest look inside the classroom walls. We'll talk about what's changing, how we're all just trying to keep our heads above water, and how we put up with the never-ending piles of paperwork, child behaviors, and the successes that make it all worth it. Today's topic is the modern classroom. Where are we now? Where are we now? Let's talk about it. It's 2025. School year just started off. We've got smart boards, we've got AI tools, tablets, digital portfolios, and endless logins that somehow don't work when we need them to. Right? Every teacher that listens to this, watches this, hears bits of it, you're going to be able to relate. You've got the smart board, you've got the Apple TV, you're all ready, you got this perfect lesson for class. You hit connect, it doesn't connect. Now you've got a classroom full of kids anxiously waiting. What are we going to do today, Mr. Pierce? Give me 2 seconds and let me figure out why my board's not working. Okay. Teaching has changed a lot. I don't think anybody could have predicted that this is where we would be at in education and that this is how our classrooms would feel. All right. Again, I just started teaching 4 years ago, but have been in schools for 12 years. It's changed so much in those 12 years. It even more so from when I was in school back in the early 2000s. It used to be the biggest distraction in your classroom was a squeaky pencil sharpener. Maybe a kid flipping his tech deck on the desk. Now we've got smartwatches, we've got cell phones, got Wi-Fi dropping out, iPad alerts going off. And that's just talking about the technology side of things. That's not talking about the real shift, which is children's emotional health. I think there was a huge shift in children's emotional health 5 years ago. The world shut down in 2020. COVID, obviously. We're coming up on the 6-year anniversary of that. Changed a lot, man. Changed a lot. Kids today, they're growing up in a world that is fast, it's noisy, and it's super overwhelming. And now as teachers, not only are we expected to teach reading and math, but now we have to coach emotions. We have to mediate conflicts. Sometimes we just have to be the calm in the storm. I remember one day last year during the school year, I helped a child find their backpack that they had misplaced. I helped two kids deal with a fight they got in on the playground, and had another kid screaming and yelling because he didn't want to be at school. And that was before I had even seen my first group of kids. It was at 8:30 in the morning. Barely. And I had already dealt with three very different emotional problems. That's the modern classroom. That's what we're dealing with as teachers on a day-to-day basis now. It's unpredictable, it's exhausting. It's also kind of magical. Like these kids now, it's emotionally there's so much more to them than there was 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's crazy. Right? Now let's talk about that hidden weight that all teachers face. All of them. Part that doesn't make it on the TikToks and the Instagram reels and everything else. It's the side that you don't see in the real world. Teachers, you know what I'm saying. It's a stack of IEPs on your desk. It's the late night emails from parents, the never ending meetings about data, goals, interventions, and new initiatives that no one has time to implement. There's times where teaching now feels like it's become 60% paperwork, 30% emotional triage, and 10% actually teaching the academic part. As an ED teacher, I feel this emotional weight a little differently. I don't get to just focus on math and reading, right? I'm in tune. I have to be in tune with how my kids are feeling. I have to be in tune with what's going to set this kid off. One little trigger in my room, and my lesson plan turns into a counseling session. And that's okay. That's okay. Because that's what students need. That's what they need. And they need it every single day. But it's a lot. And it's a lot. I have my own things going on. But I have to put my needs aside and I have to be there for my students. I have colleagues all the time that ask me, how do you stay patient? I could never be an ED teacher. I couldn't do what you do. How do you stay so calm and so controlled in all of the chaos? And my honest answer is this. I don't. I don't always. A lot of times I have to just stop and take a deep breath. Some days I just have to get out of my room and go walk around the school. And other days I just crack another energy drink, try to get by. Most days I get in my car and I blast the music so loud on the way home, I can't hear what's going on around me. Yesterday, I got in my car, cranked the radio up, and Limp Bizkit Break Stuff is all I played the whole way home. Not an appropriate song. I'm not trying to sell that song on anyone, but that is what I needed to be able to go back today. And that's the thing. Teachers aren't superheroes. We're human. We have breaking points, but we also have this stubborn hope that tomorrow's going to be the day that it clicks with this kid. And it feels like we're always looking for tomorrow. But every once in a while, we get that, right? Because when a kid finally gets it, or he smiles for the first time all week, that weight feels like it goes away. That one little crack through, that one is all it takes to remind us that it's worth it. Right? And that brings us to the silver lining. The silver lining in every teacher's life. For every hard moment that we have, there's that small win that reminds us why we started doing it. Right? Why did I want to be an ED teacher? For me, it's that student that shows up and for the first time he comes up to me in the morning, he goes, "Mr. Pierce, I'm going to have a good day today." This is the kid that had the meltdown because he didn't want to be at school. I don't know why I got to go to school. And then he shows up one day and he says, "Mr. Pierce, I'm going to have a good day today." He still has tough moments. Sure. But that one sentence told me everything I needed to know. He was learning, not just academics. He was learning self-control, self-awareness. He was growing as a human being, and that made everything worth it. That's the heart of teaching today. It's not just test scores. It's about teaching kids how to handle life. And if we're lucky, if we're really lucky, we learn a thing or two about it from our kids too. So if you're listening right now, whether you teach kindergarten or you teach AP chemistry, I hope you take a second to think about why. That one thing or that one kid that keeps you coming back. For me, it's the kid that doesn't want to be there. I'm going to make that kid want to come to school and do well. Even if his test scores don't go up, he wants to come to school because I want to go see Mr. Pierce that day. That's my why. That's my silver lining. Take from it what you want. But we hear it all the time. We hear it in PD all the time. Find your why. What's your why? Why do you do it? But really, why? What's your why? Before we wrap up today, I want to let anyone who listens to this know, I want this podcast to be a conversation. I don't want it to be a monologue. I don't want you guys to tune in every week just to listen to me rant and rave about how hard it is to be a teacher right now. Right? If you're a teacher, I would love to hear from you. What's your modern classroom story? What's one thing that has changed for the better or the worse since you started teaching? Send me a message, drop a comment down below, and I'll share a few on next week's episode, because your stories deserve to be heard too. All right. So let's wrap this thing up today. Teaching in 2025, it isn't easy. It's unpredictable, emotional, and sometimes it's overwhelming and we want to quit. But it's also powerful, meaningful, and full of moments that remind us why we started doing it. As you head into your day, or if you're winding down your day, whether you're printing your lesson plans out for tomorrow, or you're just trying to drink your coffee before it gets cold, remember, you are doing work that matters. Really are. Next week, we'll be diving into episode 2, When Kids Melt Down and So Do I. All about managing emotions in the classroom, both for our students and for ourselves. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one. Until next time, I'm Quincy Pierce. Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Bell. If you like what you heard, hit the follow button, share it with a teacher friend, and leave a quick comment. It really helps new listeners find the show, and it gives me content to put into next week's episode. So until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your students. Always remember, you make a difference even on the hard days. I'm out.